Well, the conversation for a couple weeks there was maybe this was a down season for Stanford, but don't look now. They potentially can win 10 games on the year. Inside our San Francisco studios, Yogi, Roth, Conway, Mike Yam with you. This is a David Shaw coach team that's heading to the Sun Bowl. They'll match up against North Carolina. You've been big on this the last few years. When you're used to playing for a national championship or a college football playoff or even a Rose Bowl, sometimes players can look down at the matchup. What happens to Stanford here in this one?
Well, I think with this group it's different. I mean, just go back 2 years ago. I mean, Stanford finished the season at 8-5. So last year they come in and they finish at 12-2. Again, expectations off the chart. We expected Christian McCaffrey to come back to win the Heisman, Stanford to be representing the Pac-12 in the playoffs. That didn't happen, but when you look at their losses, their 3 losses, they lost to Washington State. Well, Washington in the playoffs right now. They lost to Colorado, who's a top 10 team, and they lost to Washington State, who throws the ball. They didn't have both of their starting corners, so making no excuse for this football team. When I look at where Stanford is sitting now, considering those losses and the guys that they lost in the secondary, to be sitting here to have a chance to be 10-3 at the end of the season against a North Carolina team who you have to get up for. They're 8-4. This is a pretty good season in my opinion. Of course, it's a letdown, but I still think pretty good season for Stanford, yo.
Yeah, this is a sneaky good game. I mean, North Carolina has beaten Florida State. They beat Miami. They beat Pitt. We all know what a quality win that is. And when I look at this defense of North Carolina, they're 46th defense in the country. Well, Stanford over the last 4 games, they've had over 500 yards rushing per game, but they haven't played anybody necessarily on the defensive end that's going to stop them. I can't wait to watch the development continue with Keller Christ, right? He's gotten so much confidence over the last month or so of the season, now another 15 practices. Is it Christian McCaffrey's final game? How did they want to go out in this type of ball game? I don't think there's even one iota of this team letting down, as you said, Seaway. I don't think they don't show up in this type of ball game regardless of the atmosphere. I think they know they're going up against a potential first-round draft pick. You're going to love Mitch Trubisky at the quarterback position. So Solomon Thomas, C-Mac is their final one, rocking the Cardinal. Well, we're going to find out. But overall, I like this game. I think it's a sneaky matchup that nobody's really given a lot of attention to.
Christian McCaffrey finishing on a surge, back-to-back 200-yard rushing games during the regular season. And for those who are unaware, Yogi used to be a wide receiver at Pitt, so good job by you sneaking one of those references in. I try to get as many Fordham references in, just got one in there, as much as I can here at the Pac-12 Network. But setting you up for the Sun Bowl, of course, more coverage up until that matchup, December 30th. We'll have you covered here on the Pac-12 Network.